Have any of you ever watched the television with the sound off? Or had the TV signal not come in as clearly as it could be? What if you were in a room and someone turned all the lights off and moved the furniture around? How would that make you feel? My name's Jason Corning, and I have my guide dog Nico with me. And just like you, I'm a human. The only difference is I'm also deaf-blind. Have you ever thought about climbing the Harbor Bridge in Sydney? What about glacier hiking in Alaska? Or being a host through Airbnb? Or meeting President Obama in the Oval Office? Or getting a master's degree? Or being the founder and CEO of your own business? So take a second. When you hear or see the word deaf-blind, where does your mind take you? What do you think of? You may think that someone can't see at all or hear at all. But a quick internet search would show you a myriad of results to explain the different levels of loss when it comes to someone who is deaf-blind. Some individuals have no vision, but some hearing, or vice versa. There's different levels and degrees of loss when it comes to our community. For me, I do have some residual vision and hearing, but all those things that I just showed you, I was able to do. But one thing that I can't do is get a driver's license. I'm the founder and CEO of 3 Monkeys Communication. Our mission is to take down the barriers that people with disabilities face in their everyday life. I worked for the federal government before starting my company for about 8 years, and there were a lot of communication barriers and frustrations that I experienced in my time there. I never felt like I could really reach my full potential in that job. While I was there, I applied for a promotion. But I found it very difficult even to put my application in. All that time that I had been there, there were so many things that I had missed, so many barriers that I had faced, that I wasn't fully sure that I was ready for that promotion. It took a lot of time to research what I needed and how I could be successful if I were to get that promotion. For me, I require interpreting services. For trainings and meetings that I would go to, I would talk with my interpreters beforehand, give them as much information as I could so they could do the best possible job to keep me included in what was happening around me. Any materials that are handed to me, I'm not going to be able to read them. But the accommodation that I have is if I can get an electronic copy, I can use my computer to be able to read the materials that I need to have access to. Sometimes I use interpreters to explain what they see in front of them, paperwork that I need to look over. But for people that can hear, job opportunities and promotions abound. You have complete access to the environment around you in your career. But for me, I've had to learn to be creative and overcome the boundaries and barriers that stop me. When I decided to open my own business and filed with the state, it was a very cumbersome process. And even after I had set my business up, I still needed people that would come and volunteer their time and work with me, or change their rate to a more affordable rate for a burgeoning business. Every night I go to bed and I worry about just the basic things. Will my business succeed? What do I need to do to keep my business running? How long can I keep it running? What are some creative ways that I can find more customers? How can I provide access to everyone? There's about 35,000 to 40,000 deafblind people that live in America. But the unfortunate statistic is many of them don't have access to schooling or careers. So they're limited in their ability to succeed. So how many of you guys use computers, tablets, smartphones in your everyday life? All right. I use those too. How many of you like to change the ringtone? So when your mom calls or your partner calls, you hear a different ringtone and you know to answer or not to answer. For me, I can't hear those ringtones. So what I do instead is I have different vibrations. If it vibrates once, it means that I've gotten an email. If it vibrates twice, it means a text has come through. If it vibrates 4 or 5 times, it means I have a video call coming in. Some of you may even like to change the style of font, size of font, background color, wallpaper on your phone. But for me, I need to be enlarged or magnified, and also sometimes I have to invert the colors. If you'll look to the screen, you'll see what I mean by that. This allows me to read the screen. So I get to use technology just like you do. So let's say you want to make a phone call. What do? You pick up your phone, dial the number, and you just talk on the phone. But for me, I don't have that access. So instead, on my computer or tablet, there's an app that I use where I can open the app, type in the number that I want to call, and then it connects me to an interpreter, who then connects me to the hearing person that I'm wanting to call. So I can use sign language. The interpreter interprets that into English, and then when the person I'm talking to wants to respond, the interpreter will interpret what they're saying into sign language. And we can see each other. Do you know what the best use of an interpreter is? It's calling customer service, and you're on hold for hours. But you've got somebody sitting there waiting with you. With all that technology, things are more comfortable. There's more access out there for us. Technology has become my eyes and ears. But I do think it's funny that I carry around a large backpack with all my equipment, my tablet, my computer, but it's become my toolkit for life. And those tools help me run my business and be independent. Being able to check emails. Getting in touch with potential consumers. More opportunities. Some people think that running a business sounds like a lot of fun, but it's a huge commitment. And 100% is not enough. You have to put in 200% of who you are and the effort that you have to make it work. I wish I had 48 hours in a day instead of 24. I have so many things on my to-do list and it never seems to get finished. But all those things on my to-do list help me get in touch with consumers. I do travel often, meeting with consumers, going to conferences, going to trainings, expos, volunteering at different events. But I'm always looking for more resources that I can use in my business to help it grow, to take those barriers down that people face. Anytime I have a new idea or something that I think might work, I type it up and have it there for me to look back at later to really go through and figure out how I can make that idea work in my business and how it can help others. How do you measure success? Where does that come from? A lot of different places that I've gone to have described success as accomplishing something. But for me, my measure has been my impact. I do present a lot, and I love to hear from people after my presentation. I never knew I could make a difference by doing such simple things. I've worked as a mentor, and I had one person that I worked with who had just found out that they were deafblind, had just been diagnosed, and they thought, I can't go to school, my friends don't like me, I'm not going to be able to do anything. But through our time together and me mentoring, I said, I have a job. I travel for work. I have a successful relationship. So several years later, I ended up seeing this person again after they had become an adult, and they were so grateful for the time that we had spent together. They ended up graduating college and are now a leader in their field. So it's important to know that those little things can make a difference. I've mentioned travel several times. You're probably wondering how I travel independently. I've got Nico with me. He doesn't charge me anything except for dog food. But for me, travel requires a lot of effort and a lot of energy to make sure that everything goes the way I need it to go. For me, it starts well before you get to the airport. I start with where am I going? I look at local hotels, see if I can find information, people that are local that I can talk to. Once I get in touch with someone who's local, a lot of times they give me the information that I need. Where are the safe areas? Where do I need to be? How close is that to where I'm going? Oftentimes, once I get to the airport, I ask for a seat with more room, just because there's two of us. And then even just getting to where I'm going, I have a support service provider. And they become my eyes and ears to let me know what's happening around me so I can make decisions. They help me with my shopping, whether I'm going to the grocery store or a restaurant. Remember, I was talking about the vibration on my phone. The first one's for email. 1 vibration. 2 vibrations is for a text. 4 vibrations is for my call coming in. But every once in a while, my phone vibrates and won't stop. And that's when I know my mom has called me, she is angry, and the volcano is going to explode. I have 3 takeaways that I want to share with each of you. The first is be persistent. And that means whatever you're doing every day, keep doing it. When situations come up or ideas come to mind, take note of those. Keep going. Don't give up. The second is be tech savvy. Technology can be our best friend. We can do almost everything through technology. But it's always important to find the right tool that meets your needs when it comes to our technology. Thirdly, get the job done attitude. Always have that. Whatever makes you want to get out of bed in the morning, whatever your passion is, do it. And do it to the best of your ability with a get it done attitude. Get the job done attitude. Sometimes it's easy to think, I just don't want to do it today. But it does affect us, our quality of life. So keep it up. The only person that can control your mood, how you feel, is you. And only you. So think about what you're passionate about and how you can continue that in your life. We all have to get up, be ready to work, be productive, impact others. It's now time for us to make a difference. I want to thank you for inviting me here today. It's such an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you so much.